Today, we're going to look at the 3 times, 6 times, and 7 times table tips. Now, when I first looked at the 3 times table, I came across a song on YouTube with a penguin in it, and it's called Counting by Threes song. And if you do a search for that, or even 3 times table, and put the word penguin in it, you'll see the Counting by Threes song. And the catchy rhythm and the professional production really helps the answers for this times table to stick in your head. So I would recommend starting there. And it goes something like this: 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, and then it repeats itself. So it tends to do the answers in groups of 3, and the rhythm of the song really helps you remember it, so have a look at that song. I would like to show you some of the other strategies though, and you can revisit these strategies by looking at the 2 times, 4 times, 6 times table tips, and 9 times, 10 times, and 11 times table tips, which I created for you. So let's have a look at some of those strategies, shall we? 3 times 1, well, that's the easiest. There's only one group of 3, so the answer is 3. And 3 times 2, this is where you revisit the double trick. Of course, you can skip count on your hands, but really you just have to double this number, because if you flip this, remember, commutative property of multiplication, which means you could go either way. You could say 3 times 2 or 2 times 3. So if you remember your 2 times table and the double trick, and you said 2 times 3, well, that means you're doubling the 3, which is 6. So remember the double trick for this times table. With 3 times 3, you could use the skip counting rhythm, 3, 6, 9. That's a very good way to do that. You've only done 3 steps. And 3 times 4, you revisit our double trick. So again, flip it, do 4 times 3, and you do your double trick for the 3. Just to revisit, double 3 is 6, and double 6 is 12. So the answer is 12. So just revisit the double trick. Three times 5. 5 times table isn't too difficult. Again, a lot of people skip count, and it is okay to skip count in 5s. And it has a very nice rhythm where one answer ends in 0, the next answer ends in 5, and so on and so on. So it does stick in your head, and you do start to remember the answers. So if you skip count in 5s and you got your answer, that's fine. So if we got down to here, you would say 5, 10, 15. That's 3 groups of 5. So if we did this and we flipped it and used your 5 times table, you would just do 3 steps. 5, 10, 15. There's 3 groups of 5. Or if you wanted to do it in your 3 times table, you could do your skip counting based on the song. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. And you have your answer. So you've got a couple of ways to have a look at that. 3 times 6. Well, if you get to 3 times 5, you go somewhere you know. 3 times 5, a lot of people quickly remember that 3 times 5 is 15. after a bit of practice. If you go to 3 times 6, you can immediately go to 3 times 5 and think, okay, 3 times 5 is easy. I can get that answer. 3 times 5 is 15. All I need to do now is just add one more 3. And then you get your 6th group of 3. And if I add 3 to 15, I would get 18. 3 times 7 is the same thing. We could skip count in 3s, and I can remind you of the rhythm. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. Or we can just take from the previous step, okay, 3 times 7. I know 3 times 5, so I'll go there. 3 times 5 is 15. Would mean I add another 3, I get 18, which we did in the last step. And then I could just simply add another group of 3 to 18 to get the 7th group of 3 to the 18, because that was 6 groups of 3. So 18 plus 3 is 21. 3 times 8. Well, here is the double, double, double trick when you refer to my previous videos. And the double, double, double means you double the 3 first, because we have to flip it and pretend we're doing our 8 times table trick, if you can remember that. So you start with what is being multiplied by the 8. Double 3 is 6. Double 6 is 12. And double 12 is 24. So your answer is 24. So for the 8 times table, which we just flipped because it's 3 times 8 or 8 times 3, so we could use the 8 times table trick for the 3 times 8, and we double, double, double. Three times 9. So I created a video which showed a neat trick for the 9 times table, and it looks a little something like this. And I'll just revisit it quickly because I encourage you to look at that video to see this trick. So you count until this finger. On this side we have 2. On this side we have 7. So you have 27, and your answer is 27. Now the 3 times 10 is very simple. And again, watch the 10 times table tips video. And remember that when a number is being multiplied by 10, in this case it's a 3, you write the 3, and it's being multiplied by 10, so you just add the 0. The 11 times table tips video shows another simple visual pattern where the number being multiplied by 11, you just write that twice. So the answer is 33. That works all the way up to 9 in the 11 times table. But watch the 11 times table tips video to help you with that. And then finally, to get to 3 times 12, well, it's just one extra step. And like what we did up here, we can do the same. So you figured out 3 times 11. That's 11 groups of 3. Now we want one more group of 3 to get the 12th group of 3. So we just add another 3 to 33, which gives you 36.